Today, I have an intriguing story to share with you, where an unusual friendship blossoms between a vampire and a human. So, get ready, sit back, and enjoy the tale as it unfolds. This film takes us on a journey with Rudolph, a young and rebellious vampire residing in a vast cemetery in Transylvania. Despite being centuries old, Rudolph still retains the mischievousness of a child among his vampire kin. His parents decide to throw him a grand birthday party, inviting all their relatives. However, Rudolph, tired of being confined to the cemetery, yearns to explore the outside world, something his strict father forbids. Outside the cemetery lurks Rookery, an unfortunate soul obsessed with hunting vampires, and his assistant, the nerdy inventor, Manny. The two relentlessly search the forest for creatures of the night, but Rookery's constant mistreatment of Manny leaves the inventor unappreciated and unheard. Ignoring their father's warnings, Rudolph and his brother venture out of the cemetery, leading to a perilous encounter with the hunters. The hunters use an ultraviolet flashlight to corner Rudolph's brother, but Rudolph comes to his rescue just in time. As danger looms, Rudolph realizes the hunters' plan and warns his family, taking the lead in protecting them. Meanwhile, we meet a human family heading to a hotel for vacation. Among them is Tony, the young blonde boy who happens to be a fervent fan of vampires. Tony spots two peculiar vampires emerging from a sewer, but his parents dismiss his claims. Upon reaching the hotel, an old castle, the family encounters vigilant staff surrounded by garlic, crosses, and amulets to ward off vampires. Back with Rudolph, he and a part of his family escape from the crypt. But unfortunately, the mechanic captures most of the vampires, including his brother. In their escape, they unexpectedly encounter the traveling vampires that Tony had spotted earlier, only to discover that they are Rudolph's uncles. Seeking safety, they all fly to the house of the Veggies, where they plan to hide from the hunters. Unfortunately, the situation worsens as Rookery calls a pilot friend and begins chasing the vampires by plane. Once again, Rudolph bravely steps up, distracting the mechanics and ensuring his family reaches the travelers home safely. He cleverly outwits his pursuers, but the hunters parachute and manage to hide him in a tree. Seeking refuge in Tony's room at the hotel, both kids are initially scared of each other, given the historical conflict between humans and vampires. However, they quickly become friends, with Tony promising to help Rudolph find food without resorting to drinking human blood. They come up with a plan to protect Rudolph from the sun by wrapping him in aluminum foil, allowing him to venture outside. In the hotel's barn, Rudolph feeds on the blood of a cow, which unexpectedly turns into a vampire. The two teenagers then discover that Rudolph's family is in grave danger due to the menacing hunters. With Tony's determination to help, they set out to find Rudolph's relatives. However, their presence in the hotel is noticed by the owners, who mistake Tony for a vampire as well. Rookery and Manny arrive at the inn, intensifying the situation. The old couple informs the hunters about the kids, leading them to believe that the vampires might be in the cemetery. Eventually, the teenagers find Rudolph's family in the crypt of his uncles. Rudolph introduces Tony to his relatives, and the young kids, smitten with his sister. However, her geeky father forbids any attachment to humans due to his distrust. Suddenly, the hunters break into the vampire's lair, intending to burn them alive using powerful ultraviolet light reflectors. Tony, determined to save them, sabotages the place and electrocutes the hunters, allowing the vampire clan to escape. Rudolph's sister tells Tony that if he wants to see her again, he should grab the rat and whistle loudly, indicating her interest in him. Rudolph's family takes refuge in an abandoned monastery, while Rudolph and his sister return to help Tony, who is trapped by the relentless mechanic with his weapons. The hunters believe Tony to be a traitor for aiding the vampire's escape. Tony manages to deceive them, escapes, and jumps into a lake where he whistles for help. Rudolph and his sister come to his rescue, and they all manage to save him. The hunters head back to the Transylvania cemetery to get rid of the remaining vampires, but Rudolph overhears their plan. He and Tony fly to the rescue of Rudolph's relatives, while Rudolph's sister casts a spell on Tony's parents to make them help with the rescue. They all travel together to the cemetery in Tony's parents' car. As dawn approaches, Rudolph and the vampire cow they adopted must hide from the sun, and Tony continues alone to steal the tool that Rookery used to lock up the vampires during the day. Tony manages to get the key but gets into an accident caused by Rookery and crashes into the forest. Meanwhile, Rookery and Manny plan to blow up the vampire crypt with a bomb they retrieved from the workshop. As night falls again, Rudolph and the cow fly back to the cemetery to confront the hunters and save their family. Tony manages to reach the vampire's den and starts removing the screws with the mechanic's key. However, the hunters catch him before he can finish. Rudolph appears to help Tony, but his attempts at casting a spell on the villains fail. Rookery places a bomb at the entrance of the tomb, but it only breaks the roof of the crypt, setting the vampires free. Rudolph's older brother takes the key to loosen the remaining screws. Tony rides the vampire cow to fly, with Rudolph being chased by Rookery and his horses. The kids' parents appear and distract the evil mechanic, allowing the teenagers to get away. They manage to outsmart the helper, Manny, with a humorous tactic involving cow poop. As the chase continues, Rookery tries to crash into the kids' parents with his car, but Rudolph cleverly stops him by hooking the car to a tree using a cable. Tony seizes the opportunity to give Rookery a taste of his own medicine by crashing into him with the flying cow. With the villain defeated, the vampires invite Tony and his parents to Rudolph's birthday party, showing that humans and vampires can be friends. However, since their homes were destroyed, they don't know where to go. Tony suggests that they all live together at the hotel of the polite couple. They fly there to celebrate Rudolph's birthday and make the castle their new home. In the end, the movie shows how vampires and humans coexist in harmony, sharing their lives and forming a unique and unlikely friendship. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting movies.